All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. No trades yesterday as the market and pretty much all of the underlying stocks just kind of slowly grinded to the downside. So, unfortunately, didn't get anything yesterday, but did get 3 trades in today. So, let's break them down. Let's trade. All right, first trade was here on CVNA, and you can see it hitting on the scanner up towards the 30s. Made a nice pop there, but wanted a secondary initial pop because it was just through the highs. So watching CVNA here, see if we can get it up above 30.40 to get in, and there I am short 200 shares here at 30.40 on CVNA, and then the plan will be to add if we can get a nice move up through the 30.80s here. So going to be looking for up through 30.80s, otherwise back down towards 30 to start covering this one out. So was waiting and seeing what it would do here around the $half, and it is actually going to pop up here, and it gets through 80 for just a half second there, but I was not fast enough in my brain to be able to take advantage of it and get the add in there for another 200 shares. So we're still sitting with the initial 200 shares short here at 30.40, and if we can get a move down towards 30, I will go ahead and partial out half just to kind of front run that whole dollar again in case it wants to come down and bounce off of the whole dollar. So that's the plan. Still going to add if it comes up, but if not, we'll go ahead and start partialing out. And here it comes back down towards 30. Can we get down under 30.10 towards 30? There it is. I go ahead and cover out 100 shares there at 30.01. So pretty good fill there on that move to the downside, and now we'll see if we can get the other 100 shares to fade down a little bit more. So going to try and partial those out into 50 shares each as well, and we'll see if we can get kind of below 29.80 probably for the next 50 shares I was thinking. So looking for below 29.80. It does get below that on the bid there, but I was watching it and I was kind of watching the ask to see if the ask could get under. Didn't come down under on the ask initially, so I didn't hit the button there, but still waiting to see if we can get down below 29.80 here, and I will try and take off another 50 shares if it is able to do that. And as we sit here and it waits a minute or two, I'm like, all right, we can probably get down closer to 29.50 if it does break this 29.80s here, because 29.80 ended up kind of becoming the line in the sand there of is it going to bounce off of it or is it going to break down a bit further through it. So was trying to be patient here, see if we can get a nice breakdown through the 29.80s. After watching it here for a minute or two, there's the breakdown. I go ahead and get the fill there in the high 29.50s for another 50 shares, and we are left with 50 that we are going to try to fade those out a little bit further. But unfortunately on this one, it went about 5, 6, 7 minutes, and you can see here it's making a pretty clear line in the sand there at 30. I go ahead and put a stop in at 30.10 just to give it a couple cents of slippage room over it in case it wants to do kind of a fake break back up through that high or that whole dollar number. So stop is in at 30.10 with the remaining 50 shares, and I was like, okay, if it can't get through 30, it's probably got a good chance to get further downside for me and make some more money on these remaining shares. And if it does come up through 30, we'll just get stopped out and they will be in the money anyway. So just waiting to see what it wants to do here at the 30 mark. Is it going to get up through or is it going to reject off nicely? So far it's looking like it wants to keep pushing up back through the 30, and there it actually gets through 30 for a second and then gets rejected at like 30.09. So I was like, hey, maybe I got it right with giving it that 10 cents of room just in case, but eventually it is going to go ahead and come back up anyway and get me stopped out here at 30.10. So up 94 on that one, can't complain about CVNA. BKSY, this one's not generally in the price range or wheelhouse of what I like to trade, but it was making a really nice move and it was easy to borrow here. So I was watching it to see if we can make a nice move up through the 160s, and I'll be using much bigger share size than normal to start just because it is $1.50 stock. So I load up 500 shares in the order entry box, and if we get a nice move up through the 160s, I'll probably try to start BKSY here with the idea that I've got plenty of room on this one. I was looking at the float, the daily chart, and all that. It didn't look like it had the potential to do any kind of crazy move, so I was pretty comfortable with being able to get heavy into this one if it wanted to make a nice move here. So here it comes up through the 160s. Can it push up higher? There's 165, and I go ahead and get short 500 shares here at 167, and then it goes right into a halt at 174. So this one might get a little bit choppy just because of what it did after the halt, so hang on with me, but you're going to see all the executions and everything here on BKSY, and we'll see what it does. So coming out of the halt, It actually did dip down initially, you can see here, but did not get low enough for me to take profit where I wanted. So now I'm watching it. Can we get up through the 190s? I'll go ahead and add in another 500 shares up into the 190s. There it is. I add in another 500 there at 193. So I have 1,000 shares short at 180. So just watching it now and seeing what we can do. If we can get a nice move up through like 215, 220, I'll put in another 1,000 shares here to start getting that bigger share size in. I know it's 1,000 shares, but it's only $1.80 stock, so it's not really making that crazy of a move. So it starts coming back down, and it's just being slow and kind of choppy, and I just decided to put all 1,000 out here at 175 initially, but then I'm like, that's not really the right move. And as it struggles to get to 175 here, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to cancel that order out, and I'm going to take 75% off. So that's exactly what I do. I just use my hot button, take 75% off, and I'm going to try and let that 250 shares, see if they can get down a little bit further here. And if not, if it wants to make another quick, fast move, I'm only in 250, so I can certainly look to start piecing back in here. So it does start popping up again. It's up through 2 now. It finally made that move up through 2 here on BKSY, and I'm going to look to add in another 250 to get back to that initial starting size of 500 shares. There's the nice move up through the 210s. Can it get back up there? Maybe missed it for a second there, but looking to get up through 210s here. I go ahead and click it, get another 250 in there. I now have 500 at 203. So what is BKSY going to do from here? Well, it just kind of grinds sideways all morning long. So I put an order out at 195 just to see if I could close this one out basically and call it a day here, because it's just not really doing what I like it to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get the fill there and close that one out for a gain of $17. Not a winning trade, basically just one that I was able to work out of, but a good example of one that you can work out of when things aren't really going how you like. So finally here, LAZR starts hitting nicely on the scanner up into the high 20s, low 30s. I go ahead and get a short there, 200 shares at 909, and going to see if this can get back down under the 890s here on LAZR. Not looking for anything huge here on Laser. I was actually just about to call it a day here when this one popped up, so kind of a bonus trade here. And it does start coming down. It's kind of once again hitting right at that 890 level, just like the earlier trade in CVNA. So I'm like, all right, maybe I can wait a second, see if we can get a better flush under the 890s here. So I'm just letting it sit for a second, see can it make that further move? Can it make that further move here under 890? And just kind of stalling. So eventually I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to take it here. Take it all off here and call it a day. So get it there at 887 and up 44 on it, and that's gonna call it a day for me. So 3 for 3 today for me, up 155. I can't complain about that, especially with how slow yesterday was. I'll take it every day, especially as we head into Memorial Day weekend and then heading into the summer from there. I'm a little bit nervous about what this summer is going to be like based on what the last month or two has been like. So we'll see, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.